Hello one, hello all, it is the Gothiest Ghost of Amal Caspa in the flesh, and you are tuned in to the Critical Plug. We have a name now. That's right. It's time for a review of Metro Boomin, Heroes, and Villains. Metro Boomin is a producer, rapper, and this is... I suppose you would call it the sister album to Not All Heroes Wear Capes, which was a project I found very underwhelming overall. I thought a majority of the production was pretty one-dimensional. A lot of the vocalists on there were awful, and didn't really do too much for me. It wasn't a terrible album, but definitely an album I found to be pretty mid in total. This time around, though, there are certainly some improvements, for sure. Vocally, I do feel there's more here. Production-wise, I do feel there's more here. And definitely paying attention to the narrative of what this album is bringing. So this time around, we got Don Toliver, we got Travis Scott, we got Young Thug, Free Young Thug, we got Future, which we didn't get on the last album, but we got him now. We got Future now. And we also have 21, who was the MVP for the last Metro Boomin album. Now, this time around, and we also have Metro Boomin himself, with an accompaniment of featured vocalists from Weeknd to John Legend to Chris Brown. So it's pretty well-rounded in terms of the features go. Now, the premise of the album is pretty much like heroes, villains. You live long enough to be the hero, you become the villain. That's basically what they're saying here. But there's a contrast here that I appreciate. So not only are you getting that in terms of the contrast of features, but you're also getting that in the contrast of the production as well. Notice how sometimes the production could be very sinister, very dark, but then the ending can be very light, very uplifting. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. We kind of get a balance of the antagonist-protagonist angle with Walk 'Em Down, where 21, he just has this murderous style bars, just cold-blooded as hell over the track. And then we get like this very uplifting, very blissful outro talking about not getting civilians involved in street wars. So you definitely get that balance there. And also teeter-totter as well, because you also get an Umbrella, where you're getting a super gospel-like intro going into like this absolutely sinister, dark style production with 21 and Young Nudy. And it just goes into like these sinister keys, rolling hi-hats. And I love the addition of like the somber, dissonant keys with the shots of dramatic strings. Definitely a standout to me. And 21 carries on this album. 21 does it again. Like, 21 and Metro Boomin are like this, son. Excuse the cringe. But yeah, he definitely pulls through on here. He definitely comes through on most of the features on here. He definitely comes through with most of the tracks on here. Most of the highlights are from 21. And we also get like standout features from Don Toliver, Future, and a really, really dope track from The Weeknd, where they interpolate I Don't Want to Know, the Mario Winans song, with Diddy and Enya, and really sticking to the narrative of not wanting to have the knowledge of the infidelity that's going on behind his back. If that is going on, don't let me know. But there is like some nuance here and some definitely more detail, more raw essence to the lyrics here. Like there's more punch here, more detail here. And definitely production wise, I do love the switch ups we have here, whether it be the drums, whether it be a change up with the melodies. Dare I say it's better than the original? I will say it's better than the original. And also we get Spider with this super charismatic performance from Young Thug. I think this is probably the most charismatic, more lively performance I've heard from Thug in a while, if I'm being honest. Also provided by like a heavy switch up of synth horns and a very confessional verse from Thugga as well. And as I said before, another highlight is Walk 'Em Down with 21 just going off. And the production too. I love the super grimy, dirty South Memphis style beat. Sounds like something 3-6 would have gone to back in the day. Kind of has like these marching drums in there. Now as far as like the terrible tracks go, ooh, there's a few, and you wouldn't guess who lacks here severely, but it's none other than good old Travis Scott, Mr. Reinvention of trap music, Mr. Revolution of trap music that brought us Rodeo. And yeah, the rodeo has gone at this point because Travis just sounds very unenthusiastic here. He sounds very lethargic. He sounds very sleepy. It sounds like he caught a case of the Drake. It's like, you know, he featured on Drake's. Honestly, no, he didn't feature on that, did he? I'm sorry, that album is just like a blur to me. Certified Lover Boy. He featured on Certified Lover Boy and he caught the NyQuil Poppy. He caught the NyQuil Poppy. And now he's just sounds so sleepy on here. He sounds so unenthusiastic. I mean, I can understand what he's going through, so maybe he's like physically drained, but we're not gonna get into that because if you follow me on social media, you already know my feelings on that. But yeah, like I just don't feel it from Travis here, and it just continuously disappoints throughout. Now, production wise, not everyone hits. I didn't really care for Locked In. I felt like that track was kind of a mess and just a lull, like very just uncompelling and not very entertaining, not very enjoyable. But the outro, fantastic. I do dig the very playful, very fun verse from A$AP Rocky and Takeoff, and it's a very nice closer with a nice gospel sample within there. Great way to close out the album. And if I didn't mention the second track, I feel that was a nice touch as well. And again, creating that contrast where you just get this very regal set of instrumentation, very defiant, and then at the end, you get the piano closer. And yeah, so overall, this was definitely more versatile. Definitely more Definitely more of a attention to detail style album. And definitely vocally more highlights on here. Better performances on here. Is it a great album? No. Is it making my year-end list? No. But it's definitely an improvement from the last one. But those are my thoughts on it. If you've checked this album out, what do you think of it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Why? And let me know in the comments. Metro Boomin, Heroes, and Villains. Till we meet again.